You think you know military history? Think again. These 10 facts sound like conspiracy theories, urban legends, or straight-up jokes, but they actually happened. Let's get into it. Fact number 1, you're not ready for it. Oh, Australia declared war on birds and then lost. In 1932, emus were overrunning Australian farmland. Farmers asked for help, and the government actually sent soldiers with machine guns. Over 10,000 rounds were fired. Only a few hundred birds were killed. The emus outran the soldiers and regrouped, like organized wildlife insurgents. The result? Victory goes to the emus, newspapers joked. It's officially called the Great Emu War, and it's still taught in Australian military history courses. As a lesson in humility, a bear was enlisted in the Polish army and got promoted. During Dugdui, Polish soldiers found a bear cub in Iran. They raised him, trained him, and named him Wojtek. Wojtek learned to carry artillery shells, salute soldiers, and even drink beer. He became so beloved that the army officially enlisted him as a private to get him on military transport, and later promoted him to corporal. He fought in the Battle of Monte Cassino, survived the war, and even had a statue built in his honor. A Marine jumped on 2 grenades and survived. Jacqueline Lucas, only 17 years old, lied about his age to enlist. At Iwo Jima, he threw himself on 2 grenades to protect his squad. 1 grenade didn't go off, the other did. He survived over 250 pieces of shrapnel and lived to receive the Medal of Honor from President Truman. He was the youngest Marine to ever receive the award and lived until age 80. 4. A Japanese soldier didn't surrender until 1974. Hiru Onoda was sent to the Philippines during W2 and told to never surrender. So when the war ended in 1945, he thought it was Allied propaganda. He hid in the jungle, survived off the land, and even attacked locals for 29 years. It wasn't until his old commanding officer flew to the island and gave him direct orders that he finally laid down his rifle. He surrendered in full uniform, still carrying his sword. 5. The U.S. accidentally dropped a nuclear bomb on itself. In 1958, a B-47 bomber accidentally dropped a Mark 6 nuclear bomb over Mars Bluff, South Carolina. The bomb's nuclear core wasn't active, but the conventional explosives detonated, destroying a house and injuring 6 civilians. The crater is still there today, marked by a historical sign. The U.S. classified the event as an accident. No one was held responsible. 6. A WE officer stormed Nazis with a sword and bow. British officer Mad Jack Churchill believed modern weapons were overrated. He carried a Scottish broadsword, longbow, and even played bagpipes before battle. He led charges into Nazi-held territory wielding his sword, and reportedly got his first kill with a longbow, the last confirmed longbow kill in history. He survived the war, saying, "Any officer who goes into action without his sword is improperly dressed." 7. The Allies used inflatable tanks to trick Hitler. In the months before D-Day, the Allies created a fake army known as the Ghost Army. They used inflatable tanks, sound trucks, fake radio traffic, and even rubber planes to convince the Nazis the invasion would happen at Pas-de-Calais. It worked. The real D-Day invasion hit Normandy while the Germans were defending the wrong coast. The unit remained classified until 1996. Their job was to wage psychological warfare using nothing but illusion. A downed U.S. pilot shot down a plane with a pistol. In 1956, U.S. Air Force pilot Laltine Royce Williams engaged in a dogfight with 7 Soviet MiGs during the Korean War. He shot down 4, a record, but was hit and ejected. After landing near the wreckage of a MiG, he reportedly used his sidearm to fire at surviving enemy personnel before being rescued. The full story remained classified for decades due to U.S.-Soviet tensions. 9. The shortest war in history lasted 38 minutes. In 1896, the Anglo-Zanzibar War broke out after the Sultan of Zanzibar refused to step down. The British bombarded his palace. After just 38 minutes, the Sultan fled. Over 500 people were killed or wounded, and the war was officially over. To this day, it holds the record for the shortest war in human history. A soldier kept charging after being decapitated. In the Second Sino-Japanese War, Chinese forces reported that a Japanese officer, after being struck by artillery, continued charging forward with his sword in hand, and no head. Soldiers on both sides witnessed it. Medical experts speculated adrenaline and decapitation delay, but the story was never medically confirmed. Some believe it was a myth, others swear it happened. Either way, the event became legend and left everyone asking, how is that even possible? Then the Soviets trained dogs to blow up tanks. WDW, the USSR, trained dogs to carry bombs under German tanks. The catch? The dogs learned using Soviet tanks, so in battle they ran under the wrong ones. The result? Soviet soldiers got blown up by their own dog bombs. 12. A general slept through the D-Day invasion. German Field Marshal Erwin Rommel was celebrating his wife's birthday in Germany on June 6, 1944. He believed the Allies wouldn't attack during bad weather. When the real D-Day started, Rommel was nowhere near the front, and Hitler refused to wake him. The delay helped the Allies gain ground. 13. The US used ice as a weapon. During WDW, the British proposed building a giant aircraft carrier made of ice and sawdust called the Habakkuk. Why? Because metal ships were scarce. It actually worked, kind of. The prototype held together until it melted. The plan was eventually scrapped, but the concept is still studied. 14. Napoleon was once attacked by bunnies. After a successful military campaign, Napoleon organized a celebratory rabbit hunt. His men released hundreds of rabbits for him to shoot, but instead of running, the bunnies charged him. He was chased off the field by a stampede of fluff. During the Cold War, the US lost 11 nukes, permanently. These are known as broken arrows, nuclear weapons lost due to crashes or accidents. Some are buried in oceans, swamps, and even off the coast of Georgia. None have ever been recovered. 16. A WWI soldier was saved by a cigarette case. British soldier Private Walter Yeo was shot in the chest, but the bullet hit a cigarette case in his pocket. He survived, then later became one of the first people to undergo plastic surgery after a second, more serious injury to his face. The Louisiana man went to war with a frying pan. Audie Murphy, one of the most decorated American soldiers of White Flame, once ran out of ammo, so he used a frying pan to fight off enemy troops. It worked. He lived. He later became a Hollywood actor and war hero. Jody Hitler's nephew fought for the US Navy. After the war, he changed his name and lived a quiet life, far away from his uncle's legacy. 19. The British used music to terrify enemies. During the Falklands War, British warships blasted bagpipes and loud heavy metal at enemy positions at night. It was psychological warfare, loud, disorienting, and terrifying. 20. One US soldier made the enemy surrender with a bluff. In the Korean War, a US paratrooper was caught behind enemy lines. Instead of fleeing, he grabbed a radio, called in fake artillery support, and shouted orders to an imaginary force. The enemy believed him and surrendered. War is chaos, and sometimes that chaos gets weird. If these stories blew your mind, hit like, drop a comment with your favorite, and subscribe for more untold military facts. Follow on TikTok or TimeVale00 for daily drops of strange but true war history.